Hello, physics friends. Today I'm here to talk to you about inclined planes, and we're going to talk about just the introduction, like what they are and what it means for us. So when we talk about an inclined plane, we're referring to any flat surface that's inclined at some sort of angle. And normally the angle is designated above the horizontal, but it could be this angle, but most of the time you're going to see it here. So this would be a right angle, and you have an angle theta here. Now, when we place an object, like a box, on top of this inclined surface, we can figure out all sorts of different things about this. And the first place we should always start is, of course, a free body diagram. So I'm going to put a little dot right in the middle, and then I'm going to put the forces on it. Okay? So I'm going to draw the force of gravity, or the weight, and remember that hangs straight down, goes towards the center of the earth. I'm going to label it. I like F little g, some teachers like W, some teachers write FG or MG, but all the same thing. And then the inclined plane itself exerts a force back up on the box, and that's the normal force. And remember, normal means perpendicular. So that means that it has to be perpendicular to the surface. So here's the surface, perpendicular is this way. And that's Fn. Some teachers like to write N. It all depends on what your teacher likes. Now you might notice that that is not directly across from the weight. So this is different than when we're on a horizontal surface. Just keep that in mind. Okay. So now I also would have friction if this box is, this surface is not frictionless. And friction, in this case, I'm going to say is pointing up the incline because I'm going to assume that the box would slide down the incline. Now, that's not necessarily true. The problem could say that the box is being pushed up the incline, and then you would have friction pointing down the incline. Okay. And now you might notice we have two forces here at right angles and one that's not on a right angle. And that's because we're on this incline. And so what we can do with the weight is we can break it into two pieces, or its components. The y piece, FGY, and the x piece, FGX. Now you might be like, well, why is that y and that x? Those don't look like the x and the y direction to me. Well, you're right, they don't look like the x and the y direction. But one thing that we do in physics to simplify our math is when we're working on an incline, we take our axes, our x and y coordinate axes, and we just sort of angle them so that the x points down and up the incline and y is perpendicular to the incline, which gives me this pink line as the y component of the gravity and this orange piece as the x component of the gravity. Okay. Now you might have noticed that this also makes a right triangle. It's a vector triangle. So this here is a 90-degree angle. And then this angle here, the little skinny angle right here, that's the same angle as this one. Okay. So just be careful. Like if they gave you this angle up here at the top, then this would be your angle. So just be aware of what the problem is telling you. Okay. So with this free body diagram, I can discern a few things. I can say, if there's no applied force on this box, how is it that it's going to be moving down the incline? Well, there has to be some force that's helping it move down the incline. And if I'm saying the incline is, if we're moving this way, helping forces would be pointing in the same direction. So what force or part of a force is pointing in the same direction of the motion? Well, that would be FGX. So FGX helps the box move down the incline in this scenario. Now it could go the other way, like if I'm pushing this box up the incline, then FGX would be hindering because the weight always points down towards the center of the earth, so FGX is always going to point down the incline. But in this case, FGX helps the box move down the incline. Two other things to note is that the normal force here is not equal to FG. Fn does not equal FG, but rather it equals FGY. It equals part of the weight. And that's because as this incline increases in angle, the normal force gets less And it gets less because there's less force that the incline is actually pushing back up on the block. Because if you think about a block or something that's in free fall, the only force that's acting on it is the force of gravity. And when something is horizontal, the normal force is equal to the weight. So as you slowly increase the angle, the normal force decreases, and it's equal to the y component of the weight. So Fn, in this case, is equal to Fgy, and theta, as theta increases, Fn decreases, and Fgx increases. All right, so you might have noticed we have a little triangle here, and you might be like, well, how do I find the pieces? How do I find Fgx and Fgy? Well, let me show you. So I'm going to draw our little trig triangle a little bit bigger here so we can see a little bit better. So here's Fg, here's Fgy, and here's Fgx. And this is theta. And here's your right angle. Okay. Now in a normal trig triangle, like one you would see in math class, the longest side of the triangle is known as the hypotenuse. Then when you're thinking about trig, the sine, cosine, and tangent functions, you think about how this side is related to where the angle theta is. So the side opposite the angle is the sine, so that's opposite. And the side adjacent to the angle, you'd be using cosine. Okay? So sine is opposite over hypotenuse. But those are really math terms. It's useful, but it doesn't help me with this triangle. I need to replace opposite and hypotenuse with the labels that I have on my right triangle. So if I look at my theta here, the opposite side is Fgx. So the sine of theta here, in physics terms, is equal to Fgx over the hypotenuse, which is my blue line, or Fg. Now, if I want to solve for Fgx, I just need to multiply both sides by Fg. And I see that Fgx is equal to Fg times the sine of theta. And that's very helpful. And I can do the same thing for Fgy. So if I look at where that side is related to the angle, it's adjacent. So that's going to be cosine, because the cosine of theta is equal to the adjacent side over the hypotenuse in math. And now if I replace those math sides with my physics sides, physics labels, I have Fgy and I have Fg. So this is Fgy over Fg. And again, to get Fgy by itself, I multiply both sides by Fg, and I'm left with Fgy is equal to Fg times the cos of theta. And of course, Fg is mg, the mass, times the acceleration due to gravity of wherever you are, or the weight. So that's how you can calculate it. Now, just be careful. You always, like I said, want to look for the angle and make sure that your angles are the right ones, because this would be wrong if your angle was here. So just be careful. And if you've recently done kinematics, it might be confusing because with our x direction we always did cosine, and our y direction we did sine. That's why it's always important that you draw your triangle and you draw the sides and you label them so that way you know which one goes where. All right? So take that with you, and I'll meet you in the next video.